Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the Stock Car Championship Series live from Pocono Speedway. What turn 4? Only 3 corners here at Pocono. Located in the hills and mountains of Pennsylvania. Site of some of the best racing on the circuit too, so we're excited for this one. Stock Car Championship Series, ready for 100 laps, only 250 miles, a bit shorter race than normal. See how that comes into play. Right now we're with Bobby Allison, who's second quickest overall. David Pearson currently in pit lane. So these veterans definitely looking quick here in practice. We got just under 10 minutes left until we get to qualifying, which will be 4 laps qualifying, and then, as mentioned, 100 laps in today's race. Let's see if we can find our current points leader while we're at it here, Jeff Gordon. He's atop the standings. You can see the top 10 in standings just in the description. Second in standings, right back here. Number 18, Bobby Labonte, currently 23rd quick, so keep an eye on those two throughout the race. Gordon currently 15th fastest. Trying to find some pace in that beautiful DuPont 24. The Rainbow Warriors looking strong after the win, double points win. At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway just 2 races ago. Part of the Twin Checker Challenge is going to be 4 races throughout the season that are double points. Next one won't be for a while, so we'll speak on that a little later, but we do have 3 more double points races to end out this 28 race season. And Jeff Gordon continues to ride along here pretty much by himself. Let's see if we can find some closer action on track perhaps. So we're under 7 minutes to go in this practice session. Carl Edwards down the first of 2 back stretches here at Pocono. I know there's terms for them, but I can't remember which one's I think a Long Pond Street. Greg Biffle here, currently running 13th quick. Had a great run at the Indianapolis Grand Prix just a couple weeks ago. Was driver of the day. Let's see if he can get a good finish here at Pocono. It's very much suits his driving style. I think that could be said for a lot of the guys in this race, honestly. But you know, there are guys like the Roush Racing that just have a thing for these larger 2+ mile ovals. Current Roush, or not current Roush, I would say like 2000s Roush, 90s Roush. You hear Mark Martin, 39th, so bit of work to do for the 16. Here's David Pearson, quickest overall, back on track with a 54.066. I don't think we'll see many quicker laps now at this point in practice, as the track's getting a little warmer, rubbered in. Under 5 minutes now left in warm-up. Dale Jarrett just ahead of Pearson. Jarrett on his outlap. He's currently 19th quick. Coming back down pit lane, though, there is something he did not like. Car is pretty skewed sideways here down the front stretch. You can see it. I was driving at like a its 5 o'clock angle or something is a bit different. I haven't seen that for quite a few years in this series, but here at Pocono, it is quite apparent. And Terry Labonte looking a little racy with his teammate. Let's go on board. Why not? Backing up a bit as he lost some momentum through turn 2. Let's go a lap with the Kellogg's Cornflakes number 5. Get an idea of the sense of speed around this track. It's very wide. Lot of angle to this corner. Big run now on Gordon here. Might be able to have a shot here into the tunnel turn. Great to see a pass on board. Terry Labonte getting it done. See David Pearson actually closing up a bit on this group. 55.516 for the Ghost 17. Practice really winding down now. And see Jeff Gordon is not able to keep up with Labonte as he's going by Marlin now. Let's see, look at this. 14 laps on Gordon's tires. 9 laps on Terry. 10 on Ernie Irvin. So Terry looks quick. Keep an eye on him. And he's just pulling away from Gordon, and looks like Davey Alice is trying to get by Gordon, but winding down this practice session, and then, like I mentioned, qualifying, followed by 100 laps, so it will be 4-lap qualifying. Should see the drivers use all 4 laps. Sometimes you might not see them use the final lap, but I think the second lap, if not the first, will be the quickest. And you see the pace that Pearson has compared to Chase Elliott in front of him, about a couple tenths a lap at it. It's 3 tenths to the lap before here. Not getting a little dirty air caught up to that rear spoiler. All right, about to get going here. Cam Pearson back up this practice with him. What is this? Really showing he's very strong. And I think Terry Labonte also showed some pace. See what happens. Looks like they're just winding down practice, giving everyone a chance to complete their lap. Pearson Pretty impressive move around Chase Elliott. Not sure how much he was defending there, but thinking practice was over. Great move though. Coming down pit lane now. Beautiful shot of the track from above. In 1 second here, get rid of these extra screens. There we go. See with David Pearson here for at least for the first lap. And if anybody goes quicker, we'll move along to that next quickest driver. Look at all the tape on the front grille of the 17. He is ready. Nose down. Didn't see anything quite like that in practice. When adding tape to the grill actually made a difference and was a way of tuning the car. How much duct tape you were going to use. Cross the line. Here we go. First lap for David Pearson. See what he hits down into turn 1. 189. It's like a pretty good corner. He had a bit of breathing the throttle, which I think is expected, but great exit. You're into turn 2. Nice corner. Coming up to turn 3. The final corner here at Pocono, turn 3. Don't look for turn 4 as we are off the final turn, coming to the start-finish line to finish the first lap. Who's gonna be? Pearson, not where he'd like to be though. 12th quick. Meanwhile, Bobby Allison, who did show a lot of pace in warm-up, is at the top. .53.747 over Jimmy Johnson. Dale Sr. and Kyle Larson filling out the second row at the moment. Here comes the Miller High Life machine. Does he improve on lap 2? He does not. Does a 53.956, so 2/10 off his quickest. However, Jeff Gordon has vaulted himself up into the top 4, bumping Larson out to 5th. Wow. So yeah, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon 2nd and 4th. Yeah, it looks like Bobby Allison will be on pole. Revenge on the top 5. In 6th place, Bill Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Tony Stewart, David Pearson, who's quickest in practice, Richard Petty, last year's winner, 10th. Last year's pole sitter, Kyle Busch in 11th. Mark Martin, Joey Logano, Davey Allison, that's your top 15. Then you got Yarborough, Greg Biffle, Dale Jarrett, Chase Elliott, and Bobby Labonte, 2nd in points. That's their top 20. Terry Labonte. We saw him quick in practice. He's 25th right now on the grid. is the fourth and final lap for these guys. See if anybody goes quicker. Kyle Busch went quicker on that last lap, so we'll stick with it. Right now, rounding out the field, looks like the final row will be Ken Schrader and Ernie Irvan. No, Ken actually bumped up a bit. Gets out the last row. Bubba Wallace and Ernie Irvan. All right, great job by the 12 team. This is actually Bobby Allison's first time on pole this season. He is the winner at the Indianapolis Grand Prix a few races ago. Seeing if he can recreate some magic on a road course of the ovals. Drives very much like a road course, very high speed. Alright, we're getting these guys on track. Just gonna remove these one more time. Alright. Go ahead and take a quick look through the field, see where your favorite driver is starting. One pace lap and we'll go green for 250 miles here at Pocono. There's the front row, Bobby Allison, Jimmy Johnson, then you got Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon on the second row. Third row, Kyle Larson, Bill Elliott. Bill Elliott been a pleasant surprise this season. Denny Hamlin, Tony Stewart, and the fifth row, Pearson and Petty. Went through the field a bit earlier, but you'll be able to see from our drone shot where your favorite driver is starting on the grid. Tell you, missing those spires on the infield there off the inside of the pit lane added that character to this track. A lot of usuals back here at the back. This is the sort of track that will see a bit more, I would say, there's a final row while I get to that point. Ernie Irvan, Bubba Wallace, but this will provide more of an opportunity for the better drivers to even look better than they already are and gap themselves from the rest of the field. So we'll get the field off the pit lane here. Pace car will pull away. These first few laps will tell a lot for the race. I think set the tone. We'll know who will be a contender, I think, pretty early on. Who's got the pace? Thank you everyone for tuning in today. Again, this is Stock Car Championship Series, brought to you by Pandora's Arcade and Dizzy V Designs. to see some updates to the channel over the coming weeks. So we'll be rebranding to that Pandora's Arcade. Keep an eye for that. Don't forget to subscribe, join, hit the notification so you see when we go live. We will have races once a week, if not twice a week going forward. Also, the inclusion now of the IMSA Endurance Series, which we will speak on later on. But coming to the green flag. Stock Car Championship Series. Heads off turn 3. No turn 4. Take a drink every time we mention it. Green flag's in the air. Great start by the front of the field. Jimmy's got a good jump. He might be alongside into 1. Bobby Allison will clear. Oh, the field roaring down the backstretch. Here we go. 3 wide into the tunnel turn. Is it going to work? Senior almost got contact, I think. Falling back a bit on the outside as Denny Hamlin moves up to 4th. Has a bit of trouble there on the high line early on. Bobby Allison pulling away 3 wide in the back. Down the front stretch, here we go at Pocono. Something to get by. Still 3 wide. It's getting double file now at the front. And Jeff Gordon's actually going for a second, and he's going to get by Kyle Larson, indeed. Apologies, real quick. We're going to jump back to that other camera. Back up front, here's Bobby Allison. Leading the way into turn 1. There's the rest of the field. Not many big movers yet. Fast lap goes to Bobby Allison by 2/10 over Jeff Gordon, who's now up to 2nd. Kyle Larson, Jimmy Johnson, and then Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin going for it for 5th. Going at it for 5th. So. See right here, Bernard Sr.'s had a nightmare of a start. This is where the battles go. It is crazy back here. Bernard Jr., Bobby Albani to his inside. Bobby's 2nd in points, don't forget. Trying to get clear of this mess. Bernard Sr. now losing spots on the inside, so he's like, I'm losing them on the inside and the outside. What do I do? Finally gets into the line. Might be able to make a good corner for the first time here on lap 4 of 100. More single file now through the top 10. Pass potentially for 3rd. Jimmy Johnson looking on his teammate. Got some real good momentum there through 3. The slides on exit, gonna lose it. Shot of the field as they head off into turn 1. There's Terry going inside on Bobby Albani. So I can check that out. Bobby Labonte loses spots here. Needs to get back in line as Sarah Labonte, as mentioned, goes by contact there between Truex and Keselowski. We knew Terry would be quick, so still keeping an eye on this 5 car. It's Richard Petty looking for a way by on Kowicki. And last year's winner in the 43 car. Bernard Sr., he's finally calmed down in 10th. Here's Logano looking for a way by on Hamlin as Hamlin's lost a few spots in the past lap or two. See Jimmy Johnson up to 3rd, now looking to track down his teammate Jeff Gordon. Gordon sitting 2nd. Jimmy just ran his quickest lap of the race and quickest car in the top 6 that we could see on screen. See if Jimmy can get that gap closed on Gordon. Pulling away from Larson. And let's see the gaps here now at the front. 55.6, 55.4, 55.4. So now even Jeff Gordon, I'm sorry, is closing up on Bobby Allison. Get a shot of the field as we come through turn 1. Michael Waltrip currently rounding out the field. Look at that, Davey Allison looking for 5th on Tony Stewart. Nice job for the 28 car. Looking real nice in that. The sun barely peeking through these high clouds today. Getting some things taken care of in the back end here. Let's see, check back with these lap times. Still quicker, Jeff Gordon, but 1.5 seconds remains the gap. Jimmy Johnson still trying to close up. Everything kind of remaining stationary at the front. Kowicki, though, looking pretty quick right now. So about to finish lap 10. He's closing up on Senior to break into the top 10. Petty inside on Martin Truex. Truex will get the run off the corner. You see David Pearson. Lucas in practice. How was tape on those? Looking down at qualifying. But going maybe for a spot now. He's got the run on Truex to turn 1. If you can't complete the pass, it just kills your momentum. A little further back, Terry Labonte, he's got passed back by Bobby Labonte. Got Rusty and Kyle Busch here, 22nd place, trying to get by Earnhardt Jr. and looks like Kyle will clear. Budweiser and like the beer wagons. Really close races still through much of the field. 20th on back is still very much up for grabs. So we're getting a little closer at the front for third. Let's take a quick peek. Yeah, we got that. Kyle Larson closing back up. Laps in the books. Number 12 out front. Looking comfortable too. No one's challenged him yet to this point in the race. Lead now up to 2.4 seconds for Bobby Allison. I think this is going to be a big lap, actually, and Gordon losing a bit of time. Half a second that time by. Wow. Oh, we're getting reports, though, of debris on the track.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Caution coming out here on lap 14. Bit unexpected. I didn't see any contact, but we do have debris in turn 3. Does anybody decide to come down pit lane now? So we saw the start there. A lot of guys really struggled to get in line and lost out a lot of spots. Some were able to take advantage. New tires will definitely help. How many decide to come down, and how many will be left out again on the next restart? They are double file. So positioning where you are restarting is important too. Inside, outside, who you're in front of, next to, behind, all plays a huge role. down the backstretch, the short chute, I think this one is. I don't know. Coming to pit entry, we'll see who decides to take the turn. I would definitely pit. And the only car it looks like staying out right now is Jeff Gordon. Holy cow. Everybody's pitting except Jeff Gordon. Keep an eye on the camera here, so we see everybody exit off pit lane. Senior's gonna lose a lot of spots. He had to check up a lot there. Kyle Larson's off first. I think he took 2 tires. Dale Senior is gonna be mid-pack. Oh, whoa, excuse the camera there. Whoa. Kyle Busch, oh my god. Is he like last place now? Wow. Well, that's gonna change things quite a bit. I have to imagine Larson took 2 tires. He was out so much quicker. Bad stops though for some of these drivers. And what does Jeff Gordon do? It's gonna throw him completely off strategy, and when he does pit, he might be all by himself on track until these guys cycle back through. And will he land perfectly, win it all, and the cards fall? Kyle Busch, 38th. Chase Elliott rounding out the field at the moment. Going green this next time by. Points leader Jeff Gordon out front did not pit. Not sure fuel range. I think it's maybe around 23 to 25 laps. But how this will work out, because his tires are he's gonna be significantly slower. We know that for a fact. But if you're gonna test something like this out, might as well do it early on before it costs you the whole race, right? I hope everyone's enjoying the 24 hours of Daytona. Anyone participating, good luck out there. We'll be having our 24 hours of Daytona here shortly, I believe next week. The simulcasting with the live real world event itself. So it'll be a 6-hour race. Top 20 drivers in the Trans Am Touring Series, along with 14 GTP drivers. So, driving an old Nissan GTP car. But back to action here. Stock Car Championship Series, Bahrain. Lap 18. How does this play out for a lot of these drivers that got shuffled back in the pit stops? And for Jeff Gordon, this is the big unknown right now, I think. He's got a good jump. I think he'll get out pretty quick here. Oh boy. Somehow everyone holds it together. There goes Jeff Gordon. Oh my god, why did he
Just pitting now.
not hit earlier? Must have been a mistake. I'm not sure, but he's going to be in clean air now. Who knows? Maybe a bit of contact back there with Earnhardt Jr., but everyone's still going forward and not spinning around sideways. So, well, Jim Johnson looking for a spot maybe on Bobby Allison, who led the entire first 15 laps of this race. And by a significant margin at that. Now Larson out front, though. He's pulling away a bit. Jimmy Johnson, he's kind of trying to peek out of line, see if he can make a move on Bobby Allison into turn one. He's going to get there. Can he get the clear high? Nope. And Bobby Allison now should be able to hold a spot. And Keselowski is going to get a run and drop Jimmy Johnson back to 5th. Just like that. Look at Jimmy now back to the inside on Keselowski. Can't complete the pass though. Earnhardt Sr. somehow already up to 12th? Pretty sure he restarted like insanely far back. It's Kyle Busch. He has not had the same fortune that Earnhardt Sr. had. Seeing 3 wide through the tunnel, gotta get on that. Bubba Wallace, Ken Schrader, Kurt Busch. Even Bill Elliott here, he's on the top 10 in points. Be careful here. Almost 4 wide, wow. Get a bang in there through turn 3. Tesla trying to get back in line. Jeff Gordon in the background off turn 3. Bobby Allison trying to get up to Denny Hamlin. Quickest on track that time by was Kyle Larson. Oh, excuse me, Keselowski. Very similar, close lap times though. And Jimmy Johnson actually set his fastest lap, so these two, they're cooking. Bobby Allison closes up on Denny Hamlin. Keselowski is really getting to the back of Bobby Allison, and we may have a 4-car battle for second in a matter of moments. That time by, still quicker. Trying to find clean air is the name of the game at this point. Bobby Allison has got a bit of breathing room. He can focus back on Denny Hamlin. Hamlin very successful at this track. So I'm going to check on real quick. See these lap times. 55.2. He's going a second and a half quicker than the cars in front of him. Means he's going to catch them very soon, but then slow up and lose all the pace that he has been making up with. I think he's got to hope that the tires fall off. Here's the top three. Next race in the Stock Car Championship Series will come from Chicagoland, so that will be fun. And IndyCar is back in the U.S. after a long stint overseas, the European swing, and then a trip over to Japan and Australia. A lot of road courses, really shaping out the rest of the season there. You can check that out in our YouTube channel. It's got the playlist for the season. We'll be back at Homestead for the IndyCar Legend Racing Series soon. Chicagoland will be next for the Stock Car Championship Series, and as I mentioned, next week will be the IMSA Endurance Series. All this culminating to an All-Star Series, which will begin in June. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be running GR86 cars on multiple tracks, road courses, super speedways, short ovals, with the best from here in the Stock Car Championship Series, the best in the IndyCar Legend Racing Series, the best in the Trans Am Touring Series. They're all getting together. The first race take place in June. Get your tickets. Cale Larson, quickest lap. Just noticed that, 54.887. These top three have really gotten closer while promoting some future events just in time. Bobby Labonte in 38th right now. He's second in points. When you think about it, Jeff Gordon, he's 40th only because he had to pit. So really, Bobby Labonte is almost second to last on track right now. And that's your points leader in 40th. Lot still to happen. This is a shorter race as we've mentioned, but maybe they know something we don't. So the first pit cycle was abbreviated by a caution at 15 laps. Right now we're finishing lap 13 of this stint. how long until these tires start to show their age. And do we have any, comers or goers? How is this all going to play out? You see Gordon now up to the rest of the field. He's gotten by Ricky Rudd so far. The top 6 on screen. That's Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Bobby Allison, Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, and now drawing a blank, who is 6th. Honorable mention, Tony Stewart. Then you gotta go a little bit back, find the King and Logano, Truex. Then Harvick's 10th, being followed by David Pearson, who's ever so menacingly lurking in that ghost car. See, Earnhardt Sr., he's flying. I think Earnhardt Sr. might have one of the fastest cars. Coming up now on Davey Allison. Pearson going for 10. Count it. Oh, almost contact there between Senior and Allison. Up at the front. We got a little battle for the lead. Denny Hamlin, he's there. Trying to make a move. Look the outside in 3. Gives himself a bit of a better run. See, Jimmy Johnson's going to get momentum off the corner and take 3rd place from Bobby Allison. So Larson, seeing the pressure in his mirror, turned it up a bit that lap. But Jimmy Johnson, quickest of the top 6. Larson looking good out front. 70 laps to go, 69 at the line. Nice job by Denny Hamlin. Been persistent in his pursuit. Let's go on board. Why not? Do a lap or 2 here at the FedEx machine. 1.4 second gap back to Jimmy Johnson. These two have a little bit of history through real-world racing, and there was one incident in particular that sticks out for me, at least here at Pocono. And we're kind of setting up for that same scenario here today. Still very early, a lot to happen in this race. But if I'm not getting deja vu, I don't know what else this could be. Hamlin really finding some grip on the low line. His car maybe a little free, but with the dirty air that Larson's providing, it's almost making his car turn better and even closing the corners. Timing and scoring getting a little bit crazy, so don't mind that at the moment. We know what's up. We know who's winning. Look at this, closing even more now. Stay on board one more lap here at the Hamlin. I've been really interested to see how he's kind of peeled the layers back one by one. And does he have enough now to make the pass on the 5 car? Turn 1 is really working for the 11 car. I'm not mistaken, I see Jeff Gordon hitting already again? Did we have an incident? Okay, still only one lap down as time is scoring was feeling crazy again. And now here comes Cale Larson with Denny Hamlin, and you see cars starting to pit. So shorter on the fuel tank than I anticipated. Earnhardt Sr. in 9th. I can't believe he got up to the top 10. Especially that quick. Hamlin's looking low. I think he's pitting. Does Larson respond? No. Cross the line. 65 to go. Got a few lab cars in the mix now. So Jimmy Johnson's been able to avoid Michael Waltrip, but he is pitting this time, and I think Kyle Larson is gonna follow. Keselowski, Tony Stewart's staying out. He's up high. Thank you.
Lead is pitting now.
Pick up some spots out here. So they can lead a lap, and he does. 20 car to the front. Way back there you see next is Kevin Harvick in second.
20 has taken the lead.
We got teammates here right now. 36 in first. Bobby Labonte second in points. Tony Stewart trying to get a win here at Pocono. There's Larson. Rusty and Earnhardt Sr. trying to make a pass before we get to the pit stops. Should be huge for him. He needs as few cars in front of him coming to his pit stall as possible. All right, Tony Stewart, is that enough?
Lead is pitting now.
Harvick. Earnhardt Sr., Rusty Wallace, Earnhardt Jr., everybody. Except, look at that. Bill Elliott, Wild Bill from Dawsonville, continues to lap. Out in front, can you get the lap led? Kyle Busch also still on track. Yep, Bill Elliott, he's coming to pit lane this time. Let's see what Jarrett does. He was a little high. I don't know if he's coming down. Alright, yeah, he is. It's Kyle Busch, Mark Martin. There's the lead. Hamlin and Larson.
Lead is pitting now.
Jimmy Johnson's going to try to get by Bobby Allison and does. Bit fresher tires than the 12. Oh, but he's going to hold the high line. Is it enough? It's going to be enough. Look at that. For Jimmy Johnson, I think you just got to try to get to that high side. Back up front. Kyle Larson to the lead. These two still giving each other room. A lot of time left in this race. They're probably just being patient at this point. Jimmy Johnson starting to get a little impatient, I would say. Oh, almost threw it in there. He's going to go high side. Should be able to get by. .48 up to third. Bobby Allison trying to regroup and get his car back to the front where he was for the beginning of this race. Over now. There's Richard Petty. He's in fifth, last year's winner. Alright, check this out. Chase Elliott, 37. Taking a look. Not sure if he had a penalty, but he's a lap down, so is Greg Biffle and Jeff Gordon. It's Greg Biffle to find Gordon. Dale Sr.'s gotten by Rusty. Oh, wow. 13? Wow. So all these guys that pit early are still catching up to him. I apologize for the camera work here, but I'm trying to get through the field to find where some of these drivers are. Ken Schrader up to 19. His best run of the season. There's Kyle Busch in 27. Here's Jeff Gordon. Unbelievable. Kyle Petty. Nice side of penalty. Autobahn second in points. His 32nd on track. Terry Labonte looked like he was probably one of the quickest cars in practice. 34. There's Kyle Petty. Got to go a second lap down. As leaders, they're flying. It's a good battle for about 5th place. So 6th place, Keselowski, and then Pocono, Tony Stewart, and David Pearson. 6th through 9th. Oh, wow. Almost 3 wide, turn 1. Tony Stewart's going to go low. He's going to get there on the inside of Logano. Pearson now trying to stick with Pagano. Stewart, though, has got a ton of grip in those new tires. Can he complete the pass? I don't think so. This is allowing Greg Biffle to close up a lap down, but he wants to get that lap back, and this will help. Anything helps at this point. Still 10 seconds off the lead. Second gap, first and second. looks like he's found a bit more speed. Trying to close the gap. See if he can get to the outside, maybe in turn 2 or 3. I think turn 2 is a good spot. We saw Jimmy Johnson do that on Bobby Allison, and now has a 2-second gap between 3rd and 4th. There he goes, a little high, clean air. Should get a really good exit now too. You see Jimmy Johnson closing in a bit, maybe 1/10 or 2 a lap. See what times are across the line. Yep, yet again. Oh, look at the run here by Denny Hamlin. I think Larson maybe had to lift on exit. Oh, now Hamlin's gonna try to do the move that Jimmy Johnson did. Can't get there though. And getting reports of debris again on track. Potentially bringing out another caution. We'll keep an eye on that. On the front stretch here. Offline, but they may need to bring out the caution flag. This is going to save Kyle Petty from going 2 laps down. As the yellow is out. Chase Elliott will get the wave around. Biffle and Chase Elliott. Just about the halfway point of this race. Lap 48 now. Lining up behind the pace car. I'm sure we'll see a bunch of pit stops. Similar to that first caution. We're right on cue. And as Chase Elliott and Greg Biffle get the wave around, they are in the top 10, a lap down. First car lap down will always get the wave around, but anyone else in the top 10 we will include in that as well. Just a rule we've carried over from the IndyCar Legends series, and I think it's been positive for Alright, full field lined up. Ready to hit pit lane. Who decides to turn down? I'm amazed how few cars are going to pit lane. Jeff Burton, Bubba Wallace, Ernie Irvin. Oh my god, camera. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, they're there. I saw the bright cars through the distorted lens. That's pretty incredible, honestly. I expected everybody to come down. We've got probably half the field stayed out. "25 cars stayed out." Here's Jeff Gordon, your points leader, a lap down. Second in points, Bobby Labonte, 35th. What is happening? We're gonna get the one to go this time by also, and it'll be 50 laps to go. Great race so far. Everyone's still running. A couple cars with bad luck, bad pit strategy, and really left amount of contention for mistakes of their own. A lot of cars just pit on that yellow flag. I am sure that that will come into play later. Be interesting if we get the day when can do a choose cone in this series. See if iRacing decides to implement that at any time. Let's make sure we don't have any penalties. Alright. We're just about set to go back green flag race, and Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin side by side on the front row at Pocono. Oh boy. Second row, Jimmy Johnson, Bobby Allison. Third row, Richard Petty, Brad Keselowski. Then you got Tony Stewart and David Pearson. I think the fifth row, it's Joey Logano and Martin Truex. Great run for Truex. He's been pretty silent. Not like Davey Allison, but quieter and even up a few more spots. So see if he can get into the top 5, maybe with that 19 car. Earnhardt Sr. on the low line. And we'll see how the new tires come into play. A lot of pit stops in the next probably 4 or 5 laps. "25 cars stayed out. 14 or so came in. Cars rolling down in the first gear. That was crazy sounding. Here we go. Off turn 3. Pace car pulls away.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag's back out. Larson with the jump shoves Hamlin up the track almost. It says get to the wall. Does not give him much room. Really getting aggressive now into turn 1. Hamlin runs way wide. He's going to have a ton of momentum off the corner, though. Here we go. Down the stretch. Oh, he's looking inside, maybe. Hamlin to the inside in turn 2. Looking on Larson, and he's got Jimmy Johnson in tow. I think Hamlin's got a good shot. He's got the inside going into 3. So he's going to give him better position on exit. He's clear. Larson falling back a bit on the outside. wide backstretch. Hopefully get him back in rhythm, but back in the top 3 looking on Keselowski. Had to check up, but he's gonna get 3rd. Keselowski was way out of the gas. Look back here. It's chaos. Let's go aboard Kyle Busch, huh? He's not even on new tires. I thought he pit. He's in more trouble. Ooh, bit of a wheel from the 88. Oh man. Checking up on the high line, losing a lot of spots here. It's like Ked Schrader had a tough time on entry. Oh, it's like 6 or 7 spots in one corner. What happens here in the turn 1? Kyle Busch goes low. Trying to get by Ked Schrader. Oh, going 3 wide. What a move. Some intense racing back there, I'll tell you. This is for 13th, and Dale Sr.'s back here. I thought he was up in the top 10, and suddenly lost all those spots. Back up front. Good sure I had on the career run. Denny Hamlin leading over Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Larson 3rd, Tony Stewart trying to get by in 4th, and then David Pearson. That's the top 5. Jimmy Johnson continues to close. Not sure if he's going to be able to make a pass before the pit stops. Those are looming. Looming large at that, because then you start counting backwards in this race, and how far do I need to go on these pit fuel or these fuel runs to make it to the finish? And right now they're pretty close to the edge. And with another caution, they could maybe make it on 2 stops. It's real tight. Ooh, look at the run here by Jimmy. He might have a shot. I think he backed out a bit. Kind of just maybe checking and testing like what he can get away with, but I want to just get around him at this point. quickest lap still belongs to third place Cale Larson. Had that on the second run of this race. 54.887. Not many cars have broken that 54-second threshold. So very quick in that number 5 Hendricks Racing, Hendrick Motorsports. GMAC machine. He's closing up. We could have a three-way battle here in a bit. Kind of got shuffled out on the restart and looking to get the lead back. One of the best to ever do it though, Jimmy Johnson, trying to get by Larson's rival himself. Oh, makes a move late into turn 1. Not going to be enough. And this is really going to help Larson close up. He is basically there at this point. He's got the draft. Top 5, all within probably 2.5 seconds. So really been a great race at the front all day long. Be 40 to go the next time by. And now you start thinking about the cars that did pit. I think they are good on the strategy. They can make it on one less stop than these that stayed out. Positive, but I'm thinking that's how it's going to play out. One thing we've seen as well on green flag stops, a few pit road speeding violations have been thrown out. So keep that in mind. Look at this hill run too. This is by far the longest they've gone all day. Is he out? I think Davey Allison's out of gas. Hard break for the 28. No, he's not going to make it all the way around. Pearson as well. Gosh, these guys 4 wide. Look at the tunnel. What is happening? Oh my gosh. Pure chaos. I'm sure Benny's out. Logano trying to crawl in. Oh my god.
It looks like he's out.
Got a yellow flag. Cars could not make it. Now you gotta wonder about their fuel situation with the caution out. Who is the first car lap down? Petty is going to get the wave around. That was pretty insane there for a moment. And now you have the leaders running out of gas. He's out. Keselowski's out. This is Larson. Oh my gosh. What has happened to this race? Let's see if we can find out who's leading. Holy hell. I think Tony Stewart. Be an extended caution here. We're gonna make sure everybody gets back on track and gets back on the lead lap.
We're going one more lap. one more lap.
Apologize for the housekeeping here, but just want to make sure everyone gets back on the lead lap and get this glitch, so to speak, taken care of. And we should be green to the finish. Knock on wood.
Hang on, we're not going green.
So this really shook up the field for instance. You know, you got Tony Stewart's been towards the front most of the race, but now you got Chase Elliott at the front, who's been at the back most of the race. Mark Martin's got a damaged car. Harry Gant, that's something. Not sure what Mark Martin's doing, but he's blocking the inside lane now, preventing anyone from getting by.
Hang on, we're not going green. Hang on, we're not going green.
Alright, this should be about the end of it. Let's see. Oh wow, Bobby Allison's out of the race. Get the one. Do 2 more laps, then we'll get back to green.
We're going 1 more lap.
I think he's waiting for Cale Yarborough. So we'll get back going with 30 laps remaining. How everyone decides to work this with fuel strategy is going to be interesting. Everybody's taken care of now, I think. Looks good. All right. Apologize for the delay there, about a 7-lap delay with getting everything reorganized, but we should be good to go. Restart's going to be a little wonky, it looks like, with the leader Tony Stewart actually sitting on the outside. Jeff Gordon somehow is now back in this race. He's in 3rd. So it all worked out for him. Denny Hamlin's up there. I don't see Kyle Larson. Bobby Allison is out. See Mark Martin back there with damage. Well, this race just got completely flipped upside down. The restart will be 29 laps to go. And most of them will be single file. Let's see if I can double them up. So no one's listening to race control. We're going to go ahead and get going green in a moment. I got someone on pit road. Let's take a look. Huh. I'm showing a car here sitting on pit road, but I'm not seeing anyone. But we're about to go back green flag racing here at Pocono.
Each car is in.
And restarts out,
Green.
flag out. And here we go at Pocono. Everyone's moving around, shuffling, looking for a track position with single file restart. A lot of cars further back than they should be. And it's going to get crazy. A lot of frustration here, too. See Hamlin forcing it 3 wide in the middle. Tony Stewart going for the lead. It's by Ricky Rudd. Somehow Ricky ended up at the front. Look at that. There's Cale Yarborough in the middle. He's not done. A bit of a contact, I think, there between Kurt Busch and Cale Yarborough. Jeff Gordon in 4th. Jimmy Johnson 3rd. See Tony Stewart just pulling away. And when he's at a fast car all day, trying to get back to the front. Dale Sr. feels this probably should be like a car, but for one reason or another, he's been sent back into traffic and had to try to get there on his own terms, and I think he's got a good shot now. Tony Stewart just set the fastest lap of the race, 54.720. Jeff Gordon very quick. He's coming off turn 3. I think he's got to have a huge lap here. Gordon looking high on Rudd. Should be able to get there off of turn 1. See if Jimmy Johnson can follow. Nope, not close enough. Rudd will close the door, and now Chase Elliott looking to the inside into the tunnel turn. Earnhardt Sr. up to 6. He's by Harry Gant. Lots of traffic here. Lost their group helmet. All right, back here. Quick break. Under 25 laps to go. It's a battle for third. There goes Chase Elliott by Ricky Rudd. Earnhardt Sr. is up to fifth. And Bill Elliott in sixth just ran his quickest lap of the race. Does Jeff Gordon have enough time to catch up? Hamlin, Petty, Pearson all had penalties. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. A lot of penalties being handed out here. I'm not sure what's going on. Gonna keep typing that until the pit stops are over. Tony Stewart, you have to stop. $20 laps to go. Tony Stewart counting down to his final stop. He's got 3.7 second lead over Jeff Gordon. Battle for third heating up as here comes Earnhardt. The speed of that number 3 car. On the inside even has more momentum than Chase Elliott. Tony Stewart now to the back of Neil Bonnet. Is trying to stay on the lead lap, but will likely lose it here. And I think you can make it to the finish if you stop here. So we're looking at potential results right now. Oh, Keselowski out of the race. It's like a little further back. Chase Elliott was able to get back by Earnhardt, surprisingly. Yeah. And this is allowing Bill Elliott to close up. And all up front, Tony Stewart continues to lead. There's Jeff Gordon, 3 seconds back, 4 seconds back of Tony Stewart, and then 4 seconds back to Chase Elliott and Earnhardt Sr. Chase holding off Earnhardt this lap, not even close to him. Up a bit further, Tony Stewart still pacing on the outside. I don't believe he's coming down pit lane this time. Laps are winding down. Gap is growing for Tony Stewart. He is actually putting a decent amount of space between him and Jeff Gordon. Now 4.5 seconds, so real quick for the 20 team. Here's Gordon. Thought he had a shot at it. He had a roller coaster of a day, staying out. The only car that didn't pit on the first caution and was kind of in recovery mode ever since. And then the late caution, everyone ran out of fuel. Got him back into the conversation. Well, he's even looking at a podium. Earnhardt's still looking for a way to get by so he can be on the podium. It's gotten past twice, but Chase Elliott, very resilient. Got his father, Bill Elliott, just behind as well. So these three got a bit to figure out here in these last 15 laps of this race. One more stop to make too. Tony Stewart, 4.5 seconds out front. Another 3/10 that lap. Getting close. Don't want to push it too far to where you run out to coast to the pit box. It'll be the worst case scenario, but Gordon now closing up on Neil Bonnet. He's getting a bit of a draft, which is definitely helping him out. Yeah, Earnhardt and Chase Elliott, they're pitting. Big move by Earnhardt to get by before the pit stopped. Probably be able to get out quicker. Sure we don't have any more penalties. Ken Schrader, a bit of damage on the right front. Tony Stewart's got the gap up to 5 seconds now. Does he decide to pit? Yep, he's coming in. 20 team preparing for a pit box.
Leader pitting now.
Here comes Gordon. Bill Elliott, does he stay out? Oh. See if we can find Earnhardt. Yeah, big gap now. Where even is Chase? They lost like 10 seconds on Earnhardt. Earnhardt's by Jimmy Johnson. Keep an eye on this 3 car. So there's Bill Elliott. It's got Jeff Gordon now. 4 seconds up ahead. Here's Tony Stewart looking for a way by on Denny Hamlin. 5 seconds. That's the gap. I believe it's going to be too much with 12 to go. Our leader, Tony Stewart, coming down into turn 1, 5-second lead. Fastest lap of the day as well, 54.720. Pulling away from his teammate now, a clear track ahead for the next forever, really. I mean, there's no way he's catching anyone. There's Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt Sr., then Bill Elliott, and Jimmy Johnson in 5th. I can't believe what happened to Chase Elliott. He was running 4th. Now he's 13th. Comes Harvick now on the inside on Kurt Busch. He's going to get that spot. Davey Allison back up to 8th. Larson in 7th. Darrell Waltrip just ran his quickest lap of the race. Be 10 to go at the line. Tony Stewart in control. It's all semantics at this point. Barring an incident, which we haven't had all day. This is Tony Stewart's race to lose. See Jeff Gordon getting by Richard Petty. He's a lap down. Last year's winner, just a very disappointing day. He got a penalty along with David Pearson and Denny Hamlin. I'm not sure if it was speeding on pit road, but they all got hit simultaneously. Could not recover happening this late in the race. Tony Stewart continues out front. Darrell Waltrip into the top 5, gets by Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy's got very old tires here. He's going to lose another spot for sure. Kyle Larson's coming up quick. Davey Allison, same boat, pit a bit early. He's suffering now. Look at Bill Elliott tracking down Earnhardt Sr. It's her 3rd. He's definitely quicker lap to lap. That's a big difference, 3rd to 4th in points. So a lot on the line when you come to this point in the race, this juncture. Bill Elliott very quick through turn 1, getting a huge run on Earnhardt down the side straight. He's going to have the better line into turn 2 and a nose ahead, so I think Earnhardt might just let it go. Bill Elliott cleared off of 2 into 3rd. Tony Stewart now 7 laps away from a win here at Pocono. He was the winner just the last race at Iowa. So looking to go back to back here in the Stock Car Championship Series, put his name back in the mix for the championship. Six-second lead over Jeff Gordon, who is doing really well through the traffic. It's going pretty quick, but it's just too little too late at this point. Into turn one. Nice and clean. Here comes Gordon now. Looking for a way by Hamlin. Maybe get the outside. Yeah, he'll get there. There's Bill Elliott in third. I think if you're Earnhardt, don't look in the rearview mirror, but just be aware that Darrell Waltrip is coming up pretty quick. Chase Elliott looking to get back into the top 10. He's right there on Kawicki. They're being fourth before pit stops. Chase losing about 10 spots. And just hoping to at least get a top 10 out of the day. This was a nightmare of a race for a few teams. Earnhardt getting by Richard Petty. He's gonna clear. No, he actually closes the door. Very interesting. 7 seconds the gap. First to second with 5 laps to go. Tony Stewart in control. There's Bill Elliott, that's going to be third, and then Earnhardt fourth, and Waltrip in fifth. Next race, as we mentioned earlier, will be at Chicagoland, so be sure to tune in for that. Next week we'll have that race, as well as our 6-hour IMSA endurance race. First race of that series. Again, 16 GTP Nissans from IMSA prototype history. Getting on the same track as some super late model Trans Ams. 20 best in the Trans Am Touring Series, qualifying for the Daytona 6-hour event. That will be next weekend. Back up ahead, Tony Stewart, Joe Gordon. Camera jumping like crazy. Under 3 laps to go. Closing up a bit on Neil Bonnet, which I did not expect. He won't get him by the finish, but shows how fast Tony Stewart is going. Well deserving of this win. He wasn't up front early. Would have been interesting if he could have battled with the likes of Bobby Allison and Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson when they were all out the front. He's by himself in another zip code here up in the Pocono Mountains with 2 laps to go. Right now the top 10, Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Bill Elliott, Earnhardt Sr., Darrell Waltrip, Kyle Larson, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Alan Kawicki trying to hold off Chase Elliott and Rusty Wallace. That's your points leader, Jeff Gordon, right there in second. He was pretty doomed early on, running at the very end of the field. Same with Bobby Labonte, who's now 15th. Those guys were 38th and 40th at one point. I'm gonna make the best out of a bad situation. White flag this time by for Tony Stewart. 7 seconds on Jeff Gordon.
White flag, one more lap to go.
There you see the gap. Got 34 cars on the lead lap. Neil Bonnet, the last one. And Davey Allison, Denny Hamlin, David Pearson, Richard Petty, all lapped down. Bobby Allison and Keselowski out of the race. Tony Stewart showed up at the end and kind of just fell into his lap the way that everyone ran out of fuel and the caution came out. He had enough still in the tank. Has enough here, Sue. Final corner. Not turn 4. This is turn 3 at Pocono, the final turn. To the front stretch. Home Depot, number 20. Tony Stewart's going to win at Pocono. There's second place. Jeff Gordon crossing the line. And Bill Elliott, that's your top 3. Heck of a win for Tony Stewart, back-to-back now, Iowa and Pocono. Next race, as mentioned, going to be at Chicago. So excited to see how that plays out. Tony Stewart going to be very much in the conversation when it comes to the point standings, too. He's had a bit of a rough go.
There's the flag, it's over.
15th
Bring it
overall.
on home and let's get out of here.
But now back-to-back wins. I could see him in the top 10 in points. Heck of a turnaround for this 20 team. Now, we'll go ahead real quick and recap the race, see if we had any incidents that we may have missed. We are on lap 2, Carl Edwards. Ooh, pitched in the wall, but Rusty Wallace. Lap 9, Harry Gant, 3 wide. The contact, yep. Kurt Busch off the final corner. There's some incidents on pit lane. And 3 wide. Kyle Petty. Oh. Almost a big incident there. Looks like this is when Cale Yarborough maybe out of gas. Ooh. That's where Jeff Gordon got by everybody. Oh, hard hit both the Budweiser cars into the wall. And that's it. Great race here today. Bit crazy midway. Driver of the day going to belong to Darrell Waltrip. Well done from 26th up to 5th. Kurt Busch 27th to 8th. Rusty 30th to 11th. Winner Tony Stewart started 8th. Good job. Bubba Wallace finished 17th after starting last. And your pole sitter, Bobby Allison, he finishes 40th, the last place. Devastating for what could have been a great day. Richard Petty, Denny Hamlin, they could say the same. We are out of here at Pocono. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll get the points updated and they'll be ready for the next race at Chicagoland. Be sure to tune in and hit the notification button. We'll also have the Endurance 6 hours of Daytona. After that, back with the IndyCar Legend Racing Series at Homestead as well. So a lot on the calendar coming up. We'll see you next time, and have a great rest of your weekend.